In a world full of athletes such as Simone Biles, Katie Ledecky, and the Williams sisters, most see them as influential and empowering women. However, not everyone portrays them in this manner. In modern sports media, the way female athletes are viewed can be demeaning just because of their gender, appearance, or even race. In Journal of Sports Media, Catherine Lavelle states that the women's NCAA basketball tournament gets less attention than the men's tournament. ESPN, one of the largest media outlets, spends most of its airtime focused on male sports due to the large amount of revenue made from the men's March Madness tournament. In the Olympic Games, the amount of women's sports that are not shown on the broadcasts is astonishing. Gina D'Addario from Journal of Sports Media also states that at the 2004 Athens Olympics, the media coverage of women's sports focused on only 3 sports: gymnastics.
Watch how late she lands on the beam.
From her family
Diving.
training for this time to see if she can win an individual Olympic gold.
She has worked.
And swimming. By not showing any of the other 23 women's sports in the Olympic Games, there's a lack of exposure to these unnoticed sports where these athletes work just as hard as men.
The stories that fans and athletics enthusiasts love about football players or basketball players or hockey players, those same stories exist in our sport and in other women's sports. And I think if people had an opportunity to really follow those other sports and learn about what those athletes go through and the kind of accomplishments that they have and the trials that they overcome, they would love it. I think that it's always amazed me that here you have an Olympic year where our Olympic team, especially the last Olympic cycle, was amazing. And you had all these fans that were thrilled with these young women and their accomplishments, but yet the media doesn't tend to look for that to continue after those 4 years. And there's so many great stories and great events and accomplishments.
The other issue with the media coverage of women is the judgment on their appearance. Many times, the commentators of sports and various other sports writers tend to make comments regarding how a female athlete looks or performs. One star athlete commonly criticized in the media for her appearance is Serena Williams. Much of the media has perceived Serena Williams as a beast and manly due to her muscularity from playing tennis. However, a woman who enjoys playing a sport she loves should not be criticized on how she looks while playing the sport she loves. There is also a stigma on women's sports that are team sports. Many media outlets depict women who play on team sports as manly. Whereas women who compete individually, such as in gymnastics or diving, have been seen as graceful and don't receive as much criticism as women on team sports. Although there has been a significant increase in women's sports in the media, there are still some controversies on the actions of why certain media outlets are including women in their coverage. ESPN has increased coverage of women's sports and made a sports website for women, but some claim it's just for profit and not because they actually truly support women's sports. Sarah Wolter of Journal and Sports Media presents information about how ESPNW, a women's sports website, is only for profit, She claims that this website is used to try to make ESPN gain more views and money by women. ESPN currently has a demographic of 81% of males watching the sports network, and with the website just for women, they can increase the amount of women watching ESPN. Even with all this negative attention to female athletes, they are still powerful figures that can influence the sports world in their own ways. From Babe Didrikson Zaharias. To Jackie Joyner Kersey. To Mia Hamm. And now Simone Biles. Female athletes continue to play a part in history, and despite the negative limelight from the media, they still continue to be powerful.